You know my hot button, man, is bad co-parenting. Those kids did not sign up for your divorce, so as you're going through your divorce, you're going through life, and you're picking sides, and you're not co-parenting well, man, that hits me right in the soul. So when we took this one on Friday, where you have a dad that was thinking about not inviting his own kids to his wedding, that one hurts.
Yeah, it's messed up. I mean, imagine getting married and wanting and not wanting two of the most important people in your life there.
Yeah, even the people who called up, were like, this makes no sense. Like, why would you not want your kids, regardless of age, to be there when you are committing to somebody else, and that person's going to be their stepmom? So, yeah, our Bert Show listener, Charlotte, hit us up, and her ex-husband is getting remarried, and they're going to have a rule of no kids at the wedding, which, hey, I had that rule at my wedding, with some exceptions. Our niece and nephews obviously were included in the wedding ceremony, and they were also there at the reception.
It's your wedding. You get to say, You know what? Kids are only invited if they end in even years. You can do that. Your wedding, your rules.
So we were kind of thrown that he is getting remarried, and his teenage daughters were not going to be invited to the wedding. Her daughters, I believe, were like 13 and 16, okay? And so she was coming to us and she's like, do I have an obligation as their mother to say something to their father like, hey, you're going to do some like long-term damage here if you don't include your daughters in your wedding day? And I think the consensus was, hey, yes, you should bring it up, not in a demanding way, but like just like a more of a, hey, heads up. I think it would be wise to have the girls there because I think they're really going to be hurt and disappointed if they're not included. And if it's not received and he and his new wife don't want them there, then you take the girls and have the most epic day possible and try to distract them as much as you can and shower them, which is with as many love and gifts as possible so they don't, they can have a different core memory there rather than the fact they were not included in their dad's wedding day.
So let's get Charlotte back on here to see if she could talk some sense into her ex-husband over the weekend. Hey, Charlotte.
Hi.
Okay, that doesn't sound good. How did it go over the weekend?
Not well.
No, what happened?
I spoke to my ex and I explained how heartbroken our daughters will be, and he absolutely refused to give in, and he said, they'll be fine. Kids don't know anything about weddings anyhow, and, he just made it clear that this is what his fiancée wants. And he finds it perfectly reasonable. And to make the situation even worse, his fiance's children will not only be at the wedding, but they are also in the wedding. Because according to her, they're 18 and 20, and so they're going to be in the wedding. Also, some of the girls' cousins that are old enough, according to them, will be at the wedding as well. And there is even one exception being made to the kid rule. They are allowing the 6-year-old niece of the bride to be the flower girl.
This is ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to put a governor on my anger, only because I know the effect that this is going to have on your daughters, who are 13 and 16. And your ex knows all this BS that's coming out of his mouth is 100% not true, but he's trying to placate to his ex, or his new one, I should say. So
you're just seeing into the future?
Yeah, it will be. I assure you that, because when you treat somebody's kids like this, at some point or another, what I always say, you come back to your authentic self. So he's going to put his foot down at some point, and for him to say, look, 13-year-olds and 16-year-olds don't even know what weddings are, all that. You're not talking about a 2 and a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
They know exactly what's up. He knows exactly what's up. And this is really going to hurt your kids. You did the right thing by going to him. It's sort of out of your control now. And now it's almost like trying to do damage control with your kids.
Yeah.
Because his relationship with them is not going to be the same.
It's absolutely messed up. And if I were one of the daughters that got excluded from the wedding, like this is something that, I just wouldn't be able to get over with my dad. And I'm not saying I would hold it over his head, but I mean, when you get excluded from something as important as your wedding day, like that's something that leaves a permanent mark on you. And that's something that you can't just get over so easily. And I think it speaks a lot to the character of his fiance too. The fact that, she has this rule in place, but it's basically a rule that's very convenient in the sense that she gets to invite whatever kids she wants to bring and exclude the ones that she doesn't want there.
These kinds of women are very, very crafty. And in that they start to if you allow it, they start to make sure that you separate yourself from everybody that's important in your life so they can have you to themselves. And that is exactly what is happening here.
It's unfortunate that he can't see that he doesn't see that there's an issue, that she does not see the value in his kids being there the same way that she wants hers there. I don't understand how he doesn't see that, and I had a feeling you weren't going to be able to get it across to him. But outside of his actual daughter, your daughter speaking to him directly, I don't know what would help him see it.
That's my thing. It's maddening that he doesn't understand that this is just bananas.
He understands. He understands. He knows what's going on.
Well, it's maddening that he may understand, but that he still won't make sure that his daughters are taken care of.
Here's Lindsay. Good morning, Lindsay. You found yourself in the exact same situation as a kid?
I did, yeah. I was 12 years old when my father got remarried, and he and my stepmom went to Jamaica and got married without me. And it just so happened to be the weekend of my 8th grade graduation, and I've never gotten over it.
Yeah, you don't.
Wow.
You don't. Thank you for calling. I wish there was better news there, Charlotte. I mean, you've done everything you can. At some point or another, I assure you he will wake up from this and realize what he's done to the kids. He's going to try to be a father to them at that point. They're going to hold resentment, and it's going to be a whole thing. I've been through this so many different times. But you've done everything that you can. I would also suggest to get ahead of it. Like, maybe it's time to get the kids in therapy now.
Yeah.
Just so they can talk to somebody about it. But you've handled it. You've handled it fine.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's heartbreaking to me. I'm just so beyond furious that this is how he's choosing to, go about this. And also allow his fiance to drive a wedge between them, between him and his daughters, and that he's just going along with it.
Well, let me just correct you right there. She's not forcing him to do anything. Okay, he's not a victim. He can stand up and say, no, that's absolutely unacceptable. So let's not put this all on her. She could have a strategy, but he's man enough to stand up and say, these are my kids. Absolutely
100%.
not.
She's still a bitch.
Yeah.
Now, that's true.
Two things can be true.
That's true. All right, Charlotte, keep in touch with us, okay?
All right.
Heartbreaking. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Charlotte.
I was hoping that was going to go different.
The Bert Show.